catching a body and facing a murder charge to becoming a family-friendly YouTuber stacking millions. Funny Mike's story is one of the wildest flips the internet's ever seen.
I didn't watch too much Funny
Before
Mike
the
growing
pranks,
up, ain't gonna lie.
the challenges, and the family skits, he was MacArthur Johnson, a kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a city where you better keep that thing on you or you might end up a pack. But how does someone go from facing life in prison to building one of the biggest kids-friendly YouTube channels? And is the past really behind him, or is it still waiting to catch up? MacArthur Johnson, born October 8th, 1996, grew up in the trenches of Baton Rouge. In his own words, growing up in Baton Rouge meant that
growing up in Baton Rouge, man, you don't do something that's not in the street-wise, you're gonna end up in jail or dead.
the hood shaped him, pushing him toward the trap life as a young hustler, just trying to make it out. Johnson had his fair share of run-ins with the law as a young bull. He caught some cases and spent time in juvie for throwing hands and other charges he's been reluctant to speak on. In his Vlad TV interview, he mentioned that he would always burn it out, meaning he'd beat those cases quick and never had to do a long bid.
Like, how much time do you think you spent in juvenile altogether?
Oh, juvenile? I ain't spent that long in juvenile. I had burned it out.
Like many young men looking for a way out of their circumstances, Johnson turned to music. Baton Rouge has a rich hip-hop history, with artists like Boosie being major influences on the youth there.
I ain't gonna lie, for me, Baton Rouge is like, for me, like some of my favorite artists. Like Boosie's one of them. YB's obviously one of them. I can continue going down the list. You got Webby right there. We got Lil Fat right there. We got. You hear me? I just keep on going down that line right there, boy. Like that's me right there. I love all that.
In fact, Johnson has stated that Boosie was his biggest influence growing up, saying he was listening to Boosie before Kevin Gates. Before finding success, Johnson went through a series of different personas and names, trying to find what would stick. He went by Lit Mac on the track, Lit Guno, Mighty Mike, and Girl He Funny at different.
Dog, what the hell is Lit Mac on the track? Lit Guno. Mighty Mac. I'm actually glad you did not choose Mighty Mac. Mighty Mac's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Here come Mighty Mac. Nah, I ain't Mighty Mac.
So what was the first name?
My first name was Lil Mac.
Lil Mac.
On the track. Lil Mac on the track.
Lil Mac on the track.
Mighty Mac.
So that was you a pimp?
Shit, I slapped them hoes down, for real. real talk. But that was one of my rap names.
Initially, he tried to make it as a rapper, but when that wasn't taking off, he pivoted to comedy on social media platforms like Vine and Instagram. His relatable comedy about family dynamics and childhood experiences started getting traction. Johnson explained that he started that after rapping wasn't taking off, seeing comedy as another potential path to success.
After rapping wasn't taking off for me, you know what I'm saying? I started then to try to see what can I, get out of it, you know what I'm saying? But then shit just started going up, you know what I'm saying?
So you get in the Instagram comedian thing, right? And one situation took off, on the Instagram.
This hustle and willingness to adapt would eventually pay off, but not before a major controversy and legal trouble that nearly derailed everything. In 2016, when Atlanta rapper 21 Savage was gaining popularity, Johnson made a strategic move that would change his trajectory. During a freestyle, he dropped the line, "This ain't 21, this 22," and people caught on.
This 22. This ain't 21, bitch, this 22. This ain't 21, bitch, this 22.
Seeing the reaction, he decided to adopt the persona of 22 Savage, a clear parody of 21 Savage.
Yeah, it was just a freestyle with the woo.
Now, how did the freestyle go?
I was like, this ain't 21, bitch, this 22. Well, skirt, woo. And then everybody just fucked with it.
Johnson released a song called Jumpin' as 22 Savage, which quickly gained traction. The audio alone was racking up thousands of plays within hours. And when he dropped the video, it exploded, reaching millions of views.
When you put out Jumpin', you put out his audio first.
Yeah, it did numbers like overnight. Like it was doing numbers like first hour it did 5,000. Like through the week.
I swear it was.
Like 50,000. So I'm knowing it's doing something. So that's why I was like, yeah, we got to do a visual to it. Visual out, and it just popped off.
The 22nd Savage character wasn't just a name. Johnson adopted a similar look and flow to 21 Savage, stretching his words in a similar cadence. When asked if this was intentional,
whoa, that's that one dude. What's his name? That funny ass dude. Oh man, I forgot his name.
21 Savage, stretching his words in a similar cadence. When asked if this was intentional, Johnson kept it a buck and admitted, yeah, that was done on purpose, just trying to fuck with him. He was straight trolling.
Did you think that anything was really gonna pop off, or this was just another like?
Nah, well, really, I didn't really think it was gonna be big. It is what it is, but I knew it was just gonna do plays and shit, but I didn't really think it was gonna be big. It was what it was.
But then you kind of look like 21 Savage a little bit.
Man, that's what they say.
The music industry and internet took notice. Blog posts started appearing about this 22 Savage character, and the controversy only fueled Johnson's growing fame. Many compared him to other artists who had found success through controversial imitation, like Young Thug with his Barter 6, playing off Lil Wayne's Carter series. What started as a parody soon escalated into a real beef. 21 Savage responded during a performance saying,
Ain't no 22, ain't no 23.
Yeah.
acknowledging the copycat without directly addressing him.
So you got on stage and said, ain't no 22, ain't no 23.
Oh yeah, I seen that. I saw that.
Oh yeah, I
Ain't no
forgot. A 23 Savage was ended up getting made. That's actually pretty crazy. How 23 Savage ended up getting made. 21, 22, 23. At least we ain't hit 24. Shit.
It's 22. You know.
Johnson took this as a challenge. In interviews, he claimed that if 21 Savage had just ignored me, eventually it would have just faded away. Instead, the back and forth intensified.
Because all you really had to do was just ignore you.
Right.
Eventually, it would have just kind of faded away.
Everything would have faded away. But,
Right.
you know,
Help that nigga.
he got no sense of, you know.
The situation escalated when Johnson challenged 21 Savage to a boxing match, saying if 21 won, he would change his name. Even 50 Cent got involved, contacting Johnson about putting the fight on the undercard of a Mayweather boxing event. According to Johnson, they were going to put up 100 bands each for the fight, but 21 Savage declined, saying, I don't box, I got them choppers.
We talking about out in boxing, man. We walk around with choppers and shit, man. We ain't boxing on
Y'all think 21
But
Savage
Funny
can
Mike,
fight?
aka 22 Savage, responded and said, he must have thought they stopped making choppers when they made his, hinting that he with the shits and is ready to shoot as well.
Where he from?
21
boys?
Savage said that he don't box, he got them choppers.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when you heard that?
When he said that,
Yeah.
I said, oh man, he must thought they stopped making choppers when they made his shit. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy,
Yeah, man, they don't
ain't it?
stop
You
making
niggas
choppers,
tripping.
dick. Anybody can get a chopper, dick. You know what I'm saying?
The beef took an even darker turn when 21 Squad began posting threatening messages, including tombstone emojis over Johnson's pictures. This led to threats and declarations that ATL, 21 Savage's city, and BR, Johnson's city, were now no-fly zones for each other, meaning if either one pulled up to the other's hood, it was on site. The internet beef was turning into some real street shit.
You know, that would really escalated the shit again, you hear me? Because that's when one of his homeboys, I don't know who he was, he put the little tombstones over my pictures, whoop the whoop, then no plug. He got the comment, he say, something, so I added him. I say, pull up. You know, that's when the whole city, you know, what up, pull up, you know what I'm saying?
You said that, what, Baton Rouge is a no-fly zone for them now?
Shit, it is a no-fly zone.
But while the internet beef was heating up, the streets had a different kind of smoke waiting. Before long, Funny Mike wasn't just playing Savage on records. He caught a real body in broad daylight. Amid the rise of the 22 Savage persona and the beef with 21 Savage, something far more serious occurred. On May 3rd, 2016, MacArthur Johnson was involved in a shooting that left 20-year-old Richard Phillips dead in the parking lot of a Baker Boulevard grocery store in Louisiana.
Good afternoon, I'm Cheryl Mercedes.
And I'm Greg Merriweather. A fight over a flyer for a birthday party has left one man dead and another charged with his murder.
The killing happened at a Baker convenience store, and this afternoon, Police Chief Mike Knapp's announced a total of 3 arrests in this case. But the suspected shooter insists he did nothing wrong.
You didn't fire a gun?
Self-defense.
So you did fire a gun.
Self-defense.
19-year-old MacArthur Johnson, police say, turned himself in on Wednesday morning after hearing he was wanted in a shooting overnight at the Baker Boulevard grocery store.
According to police reports, the shooting stemmed from a dispute over a birthday party flyer that had occurred 7 weeks earlier. On the night of the shooting, Johnson was in a car with Charmaine Wilson when they encountered Phillips, who was distributing flyers in the parking lot. Phillips was passing out party flyers in the parking lot, and he and Funny Mike were arguing over the flyers. After a brief conversation, Phillips and his companion, Walter Williams Jr., slid off at first, but Phillips doubled back and pressed Funny Mike a second time. Mike said Phillips upped a strap on him, so Mike fired first, hitting him dead in the chest, claiming it was self-defense.
Self-defense.
So you did fire a gun.
Self-defense.
19-year-old MacArthur Johnson, police say, turned himself in on Wednesday morning after hearing he was wanted in a shooting overnight at the Baker Boulevard grocery store. Richard Phillips, known as Rah-Rah, also 19, died after being shot in the chest.
But here's the thing. Nobody ever confirmed if Phillips even had a pole on him, and whether it was real self-defense or not is still really shaky. Phillips ended up dying from the shot. Later that day, Funny Mike got booked along with two other dudes that were riding with him. They charged him with second-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, and obstruction of justice. Mike admitted he squeezed the trigger, but tried to play the self-defense card. Problem is, the cops had video footage, and it didn't match his story. A report said they tried to lie and claim Phillips was strapped, but one of the passengers folded when the feds showed him the surveillance footage, and the footage showed Phillips didn't have no gun. Funny Mike's bond got set at $370,000, but he had the bread and bonded out quick, at least for the moment. In interviews after the shooting, Johnson seemed ice cold about the serious charges hanging over his head. When asked how he felt with a murder case pending, he responded, "I don't feel no type of way. I don't think about it, just fuck it." This showed how desensitized he was to the streets. Man was facing decades, but acting like it wasn't nothing but a thing.
What? How I feel?
Yeah, with something like that hanging over your head.
I don't feel no type of way. Because, you know, if you was in my shoes, and the situation, you would probably do the same thing, you know, so.
Not about the situation, but about the court case that's coming up or the plea deal that's coming up or whatever is coming up in your future. Because one way or another, something's going to have to happen. So how do you just get by day after day?
I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
Just fuck it.
Fuck it.
But sometimes in the streets, it ain't about who's right or wrong, it's about what you can prove. And somehow, against all odds, Funny Mike finessed the system and slid out the back door clean. Now you're hearing all these and wondering why he's not in prison right now, despite all the evidence looking mad sketch. Johnson caught the biggest break of his life. In what shocked everybody, a grand jury decided not to indict him on the murder charges. This decision effectively meant the case wouldn't go to court, and Johnson was free to move forward with his life. He celebrated this outcome on Instagram, writing, "God is good. Second chance at life. Shout out to my team." Some have speculated about how Johnson managed to avoid indictment despite the evidence, including surveillance footage. But the details of the grand jury proceedings remain private. With the streets watching and the feds off his neck, Funny Mike knew he couldn't keep living on borrowed time. He had to reinvent himself before the next bullet or courtroom took him out for good. Following his legal troubles and the 22 Savage controversy, Johnson knew he needed to switch up his whole vibe. He eventually shelved the 22 Savage persona and fully embraced his new identity, Funny Mike. This wasn't actually a new wave, but rather a return to his comedic roots. Before the 22nd Savage character, he had already been building a following with comedy content. As 21 Savage explained in interviews, the comedy shit was working, so I guess he just went back to it.
Did you convince him to drop the whole 22 Savage thing?
I think he did that on his own, really.
Just ran his course?
I ain't never asked him to stop. But he DM'd me, like, back then and apologized, though. Like, way back then. Not on no pussy shit, like on some man shit. Yeah. He said some shit. He just stopped doing it. But he was a comedian before the 22 shit, and it was working for him. The comedy shit was working. So I guess he just went back to it.
In 2016, he created his YouTube channel and began focusing on comedy skits, pranks, and lifestyle content. His authentic personality and humor resonated with audiences, and his channel grew rapidly. Johnson's content evolved over time, becoming more family-friendly as he himself matured and started a family. He began dating Jalea Monet, whom he met through social media, and the couple now have 2 children, a daughter named London, born in February 2019, and a son named MacArthur Johnson Jr., born in July 2020. Today, Funny Mike has built a straight-up media empire. His main YouTube channel is pushing over 6 million subscribers, and he runs additional channels including Funny Mike Gaming, Funny Mike Skits, and the MJ Family channel with his girl Jalea, which has over 3 million subscribers by itself. His content now is all about pranks, challenges, and family vlogs, a complete 180 from his days as 22 Savage or his trouble with the law. He's estimated to be worth about 3 M's, all made legitimately through his social media hustle. That's according to Google Google, but I think he's worth 10 times that, as he's acquired most of his wealth from crypto investments. A coin called Doge is what made him all these millions. Beyond YouTube, Johnson has kept dropping music under his Funny Mike persona, with tracks like DD3X, Small Wee Wee, and Monsters Under My Bed, showing a more lighthearted approach than his 22 Savage days. Johnson has also been giving back to the hood, organizing bike giveaways for kids in Baton Rouge who ain't got much, especially around Christmas time. He's spoken on the importance of putting on for your city, noting that many children don't get nothing for Christmas because their family can't afford it. A key part of Johnson's story is his connection to another Baton Rouge rapper who blew up, NBA YoungBoy, Kentrell Deshaun Galden. These two came up in the same trenches of Baton Rouge, both trying to make it out by any means. YoungBoy has shouted out Funny Mike in his music, with bars suggesting people mistakenly thought Funny Mike was soft when he was really about that life.
All you do is whistle, past prison after central booking. They really thought Funny Mike was pussy. They really thought Funny Mike was pussy.
This cosign from one of the hottest rappers in the game adds another layer to Johnson's complex story and street credibility. Funny Mike's journey from the trenches of Baton Rouge to YouTube stardom is a story of transformation, second chances, and reinvention, straight up. While his past includes catching a body and controversial beef, he finessed his way into building a successful career as an entertainer. Today, the man once charged with murder creates content that millions of families watch daily. He's a father, entrepreneur, and content creator who's apparently left his troubled past behind. He really beat the system and changed his life around. His story raises mad questions about redemption, the justice system, and how people can switch up their whole lives. It also highlights the unique opportunities that platforms like YouTube provide for renovation and reaching audiences directly without traditional gatekeepers. Love him or hate him, Funny Mike's story shows that no matter how deep in the game you might be, there's always a chance to flip the script and make something positive happen. From posting up on the corner to superstar content creator, that's the American dream in the digital age. Let us know down below. What do you...
Hey, man, this is a great video, man. Motivational for sure. I'm not breaking you serious and lie to you, man. That's actually... I low key kind of want him to kind of get more into his YouTube life. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie to you, but we ain't even get to. Let's see what we finna do one of these real quick.